Today is all about Ernesto Valverde and his tactics he is going to be using with Bilbao, a fantastic manager, highly requested by you guys as well. I do want to add, if you guys do enjoy the tactics on this channel, please do leave a like, drop a little subscription below and hit that wonderful notification bell, because we're publishing a lot of tactics right now, some Wonder Kid videos, it's all going on. Be sure to get involved. So firstly, the results. We did actually have a very good season, as you can see, with Athletic Bilbao, finishing in 4th place, securing Champions League football, and finishing 2 places higher than we were predicted to do so. And I do honestly think, for a little bit of a better team, we definitely could have got a little bit higher and possibly got into sort of the top 2 places. So a very good season with this team. We averaged over just about 2 goals a game, conceded 1 per game, a fantastic pass completion at 88.74, attacker win ratio quite high actually on this occasion of 77.62. A tactic not really known for its goal outlet, to be honest with you. It's more of a sort of slow build-up play possession style. We had some decent scorers in the team. Raul Garcia with 26, Williams with 20, Nico Williams with 13 goals, 9 for Alex, Mumwayin coming in with 9 as well. A bit of a drop off there, obviously a few players also out on loan. Mainly the goals coming from the 4 players as to be expected, but as I said, this tactic isn't really made to be scoring sort of 3 to 4 a game, so quite impressed with these stats. And in terms of the assists, there's going to be 14 coming in out of Lueke. We've got Mumwayin coming in with 14, 9 for Williams, the other Williams as well coming in with 7, under Herrera, man I miss you at United, 7 assists for him as well, a couple of players obviously out on loan, this player being an absolute baller by the way. Obviously with this we are relying on more of sort of these front 2 here, coming in with 10 plus assists a season, sorry. We do have some other candidates here contributing to the team, so overall I'd say quite a balanced outlet in terms of the assists and also the goals. But over to his former team and a little bit of a more of a powerhouse team in their relevant division, Olympiacos. We absolutely stampeded the league, 88 points coming in, 28 wins, only 4 draws, only 4 losses, a much more comfortable season in this division. And so I'm not going to attempt to say the name, but we also did win one of the cups as well, and a 2-0 win. And doing this, we averaged 2.47 goals per game, conceded at 0.56, which just shows if you are playing as one of the slightly better teams in the division, or the best team, you can pretty much halve what you're going to be conceding with quite relative ease, to be honest. In terms of the tackle win ratio, 76.52, and again, the pass completion coming in at 87.75. This is where you really can see what this tactic is capable of with the right team. Most points per game at 2.44, most goals at 89, most shots at just over 700, fewer shots coming in at 236, possession 64% possession over a season, most dribbles made at 557, most clean sheets coming in at 21, and obviously the fewest conceded coming in at a very low 20. More goals scored obviously with this team as well, as you can see here. We've got 29, 17, 13, 11, 8, he's out on loan, 6, 5, 5. So again, more people getting involved, to be honest with you. Obviously it is going to be this lad here who is going to come in with 29, picking up the bulk load of the goals, but then we can turn to another 3 players that have scored 10 plus goals in the season. In terms of assists, it's going to be a very familiar pattern: 15, 13, 12, 10, 6, out on loan, 5, 5, 5. So again, even the 5 assists a season, they all add up and help. But again, we are going to be relying on sort of 4 players that have got 10 and above assists in a season. So these highlights are from a game which we won 5-0 against Athens, a very good team in this division, and we absolutely dismantled them. We had 67% possession. As you can see, we had no struggle linking up the play from midfield right all the way through. And look at this, sensational play right back into the middle, and this lad was on fire. Great link-up play through the midfield, eventually getting that pinpoint pass out wide, back inside. And do you know what? We can also go direct as well. It's the great thing about this system. Well, honestly, probably one of my favourite videos to have made, because my knowledge on this manager wasn't the best. I'd done tons of research, as you're going to find out very shortly when we break down the tactic, but results wise and the way it plays in FM, it is utterly flawless. I must admit, elegant play through the middle, can go direct. You can't really ask for much more, as the last goal is going to come in here. A great first touch, going to drive it across, and an even better finish. But over to the part of the video which you've come for, that is going to be the tactical breakdown. Let's get into it. So, Ernesto Valverde likes to use a common formation, typically with 4 defenders, 2 midfielders, 3 attacking players, and 1 forward. He's flexible and adjusted his tactics based on the players that he currently has. When Valverde became the coach in 2013, he wanted the team to be better at defending, so he mostly utilised the 4-2-3-1 formation. Each year he was in charge, he used this formation more often. The 4-2-3-1 is the perfect fit for Valverde because it allows him to change the team's strategy as needed during a game. The two midfield players who stay back help the team stay in control during different parts of the game, depending on what the coach wants. These two players can be different in how they play. For example, they can both focus on defending to protect the attackers, or one can be a passer and the other an aggressive tackler. Coaches can adjust based on the players that they have. Bilbao often tried to control the ball when they were moving it from one side of the field to the middle part. They did this to make the other team come towards them and try to take the ball away. When the other team did that, it left empty spaces behind which Bilbao could then use to attack, i.e. a massive gap in behind. When Bilbao is trying to start their attack, they change how they position their players on the field. Sometimes they form a group that looks like a 3-4-1-2, and in other situations it's more like a 3-2-3-2. Depending on the situation, the players take one of two main positions, and we're going to be definitely covering that 3-2-3-2 today. We are now going to go over the back line, but I'm going to show you what it looks like in the game first. So we are going to go with a goalkeeper simply on defend. We're going to opt for a wing-back on attack, on sit narrower. You are going to understand a lot more about why that is there when we go over a bit of analysis and how this actually utilizes and how it plays. A ball-playing defender on the right, on defend, a central defender on the left, simply on defend, and a wing-back on the left, on support, simply on stay wider. In this picture, you can see that one fullback moves forward to make the field wider because the winger on that side has moved up closer to the centre forward in the attack. The player who has the ball is the right back, and instead of staying wide, they come inside and stand closer to the centre backs, forming a group of 3 defenders, which is why that wing back is obviously on sit narrower. The right winger in front of them stays on the right side of the field, near the sideline. This makes it harder for the other team because they have to cover a lot of space on the field and gives Valverde's team a lot more control. In this picture, you can see how Bilbao made Real Madrid's players move out of their defensive positions and gather on one side of the field when the ball reached the middle part. There was a lot of open space on the other side of the football field in Madrid's half. That's when Valverde's Bilbao would try to quickly move the ball from forwards and attack. And that is why for the midfield we are going to utilise a box-to-box on support, simply on the default instructions, and a Roman playmaker again, simply on the default instructions. And trust me, it works really, really well and replicates how this system is going to be playing. So don't get put off by the fact there's not loads of custom instructions. Sometimes there doesn't need to be. And in the middle, or the sort of heart of the team, the attacker midfielder is also going to be on support, on dribble more, and roam from position. In this situation against Barcelona, Bilbao was very direct when they entered the area where they attack. They had one of their players positioned at every part of the field in Barcelona's half where they tried to defend. The fullbacks were out wide on the sides, the wingers were in the middle of the field but not too close to the sidelines, and the attacker midfielder was running behind the main forward, which is why very important to let that attacker midfield player to roam. By doing this, they made it hard for Barcelona to cover all the areas of the field, and it created gaps or spaces between Barcelona's centre-backs that Bilbao could try to take advantage of. Even though Valverde liked when Bilbao attacked, he didn't forget about defending. Defence was still very important in the way his team played. When they didn't have the ball, they were really good at staying organised and hard for the other team to score against. In 3 of the 4 seasons he was in charge, Bilbao actually finished near the top of the Liga for how few shots and how few tackles they let the other team do to them in each game. But although defensive, still very good when it comes to attacking, as we have an inside forward on attack on cross aim centre, and also on the right it's going to be exactly the same. Obviously very important, as we've just discussed, they are on stay wider, and the cherry on top, the deep line forward, is going to be on default on attack. In terms of the team instructions, it's going to be a custom possession style, an attacker mentality. Attack and width is going to be set to narrow. We're going to overlap left and overlap right while playing out from the back. We've got a shorter passing directness matched with a slightly lower tempo, so again, not going to be too aggressive on your players. Be more expressive is absolutely key because this isn't the most attacking style of playing, so that really does help in terms of FM performance. Work ball into the box is an absolute necessity, and also mixed crosses in the final third. In transition, we're going to have a counter-pressing style. Nothing selected when possession has been won because either option isn't really what we want to be doing. We've got nothing on the goalkeeper in possession apart from telling him to play it to the centre-backs, taking short goal kicks. When the opponent had the ball in their own half, Valverde's team would press them by marking each player closely. This way they tried to stop the other team from easily passing the ball out from their defence or making passes to the areas where Bilbao was putting pressure. So in terms of the out of possession tab, I would have loved to have Mark Titer on virtually all of the players, because that would have been sort of how he played. But in FM, it's a little bit overkill and doesn't really work, so unfortunately, that's not going to be selected. But in terms of the out of possession, we have gone with the high defensive line. Pressing high is a key element of this system, a high press when it comes to the line of engagement, more often on the trigger press, and also stay on feet in terms of the tackling. Of course, as always, guys, we have now got 2 more variants to go over, and I do want to quickly thank all of the wonderful names coming down the screen right now. These are going to be new or existing Patreon members. Patreon is a great way to support me as a creator and carry on making these style of videos. And also, you get some fantastic perks yourselves, including access to all 3 of these wonderful downloads, early video and tactic release, priority in your tactic and rebuild requests, and also you get some access to the exclusive giveaway. So do you know what? Definitely worth checking out if you've got a moment. The link is going to be in the description. Much love for that. But let's go ahead and break down the other 2 variants of Valverde's system. So it might look a little bit odd, but this is actually the 3-2-3-2. Now it might look weird in terms of the way it's positioned, but I'm going to explain how it actually works and the logic behind it. So we're going to start off with a goalkeeper on defend, a wingback on defend simply on sit narrower, a ball playing defender on the right on the default, a central defender next to him simply on stay wider. He's on stay wider because the fullback is going to be on attack on dribble more, run wide, and also stay wider. Now what happens here is in this system, obviously they sort of sacrifice a player a little bit deeper. They have 2 up top. This is going to be the 3-2-3-2 we talked about. This fullback essentially acts as a winger. So that is why this central defender is also going to be told to stay wider, if that makes sense. In the midfield, we're going to have a box-to-box simply on support, a central midfield player on support on get further forwards and also stay wider, helps provide more width to the team, simple as that. On the right, we're going to have a winger on attack, on cross aim centre, because now he is required to play out wide and simply be stuck out wide. And in the middle, the attacker midfield player on support, on dribble more, roam from position, and also move into channels. And the big change is obviously going to be the 2 players now up top instead of the 1, the deep lying forward on attack, on the default instructions, and the advanced forward coming in on attack simply on shoot more often. So it's a bit of a different change, and I know it's identified as a 3-2-3-2 and there's a back 4 in front of you, so I do see your point, but this fullback is never going to be at the back. I will say that he's typically going to be positioned in this sort of pocket here, so it does play as a 3 at the back. Before I get any comments, I can see the confusion. In terms of the team instructions, it's going to be based off an attacking mentality, narrow in terms of the attack and width because we get the width from the player instructions, overlap left really encourages that fullback to really opt a winger position, playing out from the back is still going to be in the team, shorter when it comes to the directness, a standard tempo on this occasion, so buffed up 1, be more expressive, work ball into the box, and also mixed crosses. In transition, we're going to be looking to counter press, distribute quickly is going to be the 1 change coming in this tab, distributing to the centre backs is going to remain the same, and also take short goal kicks. Now if you want to, you can also distribute to the right back if you want to, because he's almost going to act like a 3rd centre back in the system, but for me, I like the security of playing to the guaranteed back 2. And in terms of out of possession, we're obviously going to have the higher defensive line, the high press and line of engagement, much more often this time on the trigger press, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and also stay on feet. So quite an aggressive way of playing, and this sort of system is almost more attacking, so this is why I describe it as the attacking variant. So in my opinion, definitely at least get the default and this one because they play hand in hand really well. And last but definitely not least, this is a sort of one made by me just for FM purposes, helping to defend your games, sort of seal them out. This is going to be the defensive variant of his 4-2-3-1. So a goalkeeper on defend on the default, a fullback on support simply on Mark Titer, and I have gone down the path on this occasion of having a lot of players on Mark Titer. Although I said it didn't work too well, when it comes to defending the game, it does. It's just not as good in terms of going forward and attacking, but this is obviously to defend, really get close to people and make it very hard for them to pass around you and obviously run around you as well. So it's a very good way of defending. A ball playing defender on the default, a central defender on the default, a fullback on support on Mark Titer, a central midfield player on automatic on pass it shorter and also Mark Titer, a roaming playmaker on support on pass it shorter and also Mark Titer. So I've got deja vu there, exactly the same instructions. An inside forward on support on pass it shorter, cross aim centre, stay wider and also Mark Titer. An attacking midfielder on pass it shorter and also tackle hard, not tackle harder, mark it tighter, because I'm saying mark tighter all the time, and an inside forward again on pass it shorter, cross aim centre, stay wider, and mark tighter. So this midfield is going to restrict a lot of what the other team can do. They're going to be close to the players, it's going to be very hard to pass around, and when we've got the ball, we're going to be playing lovely short sweet passes, meaning we're going to be dominating possession, and it's very easy to defend a game while playing like this. And to finish it off, a deep line forward on attack, simply on the default. In terms of the instructions, we're going to be basing that still off the possession style, a balanced mentality, narrow on the width, playing out from the back is going to be a necessity. No overlapping on this occasion though, because we're not really too attacking in this variant. Shorter on the passing directness, a standard tempo is going to remain. On this occasion, we're going to hit early crosses because we're not really going for goals, so whenever we've got the opportunity to get the ball into the box when we're high enough up the field, if there's a good option on, we've got to take it, and to do that, we're going to be hitting in with mixed crosses. Transition, we're going to opt for a counter-pressing style, slow the pace down when the goalkeeper's got the ball, and we're going to play to the centre-backs while taking short goal kicks. In terms of out of possession, we're still going to utilise that high defensive line because that is how Valverde does typically play. The high press is also going to remain in the system much more often. No goalkeeper sort of prevention on this occasion. We're not going to go out there and press and really commit to it. And we're also going to remain on stay on feet. That is going to give you guys the complete Valverde package. His 4-2-3-1, also his 3-2-3-2, and sort of a custom job from me here in a defensive variant of his default formation. If you guys have enjoyed today's video and you are now starting to enjoy the tactical analysis, I know it was requested a lot in my previous videos, so hopefully you guys do enjoy the sort of new video style. Let me know in the comments below because I do love to hear your feedback. But enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.